My name is Cody. I'm joined by Jordan and special guest over here, Eric Veta.
What's up?
How are you guys doing today? How are everyone feeling? How are we feeling?
I'm doing pretty well, Cody.
Glad to hear it.
It's July, man. It's like the time. And in Michigan, because we're all in Michigan,
Yes.
July's like peak season. And Michiganders appreciate the summer.
Well, and I think you can tell if you look at us. Like maybe my face is doing a little bit better after this past weekend, but I was real red. I feel like Jordan, you might have a little bit more of like a base tan going. Eric's over there. Just
like the camera and the light doesn't do it justice. I have a lot of color right now. I am very happy with my tan right now. Like I said, it's not doing it justice on the live right now. But I was like, I just
you're feeling good about yourself.
Looking in the mirror and I was like, damn, look at me. You know,
the AI. Have you ever used like a smart scale? I have a smart scale. It's like you get on it after you've like lost some weight, and it's like, are you sure these are your measurements? And
it's like the immediate ego boost.
Yeah. I've been on you both know I've been on this diet weight loss thing since March, and so I'm on it every day. So it doesn't hit me with that. It doesn't know that I'm not me. It sees me losing weight. So
yeah.
Hell yeah. But awesome. Hey guys, I got the link out. Everyone is invited. I think we're ready to get into it. And I think this is we're going to have a really special episode here. We did the mini introduction, but I'd love to hear a little bit more just about you, Eric, and kind of what your experiences is. Basically, introduce yourself to the audience. Let us know a little bit more about you.
For sure. So professionally, I have been a contract web developer and digital marketer since I could work. Had a couple years doing the work. I had a white collar job, realized I hated it. Had a blue collar job, liked it more than the white collar job. But I was like, no, this isn't doing it for me. And very early, I was like, there has to be a way that I can. My primary focus is always be my own boss, and I just set forth to do that. And I was like, how are we going to do that? Well, at the time, there was a freelance platform called Odesk, which is now Upwork. And I'm sure a lot of people who are in this space are familiar with it. It's a great place to hire, little one-off people and get little gigs if you have some freelance skills. And I started working.
It's like a higher quality Fiverr almost, right?
Yeah, that's a very fair way to call it. Yeah.
Fiverr. Yeah.
It's and it's had moments where it's been low quality, high quality. It's tough to balance, It's you have United States-based people, non-United States-based people, there's discrepancies in that, people trying to use different accounts and stuff. It's a whole thing. But I started there when I was one of very few Americans on the platform. And that alone was enough for me to, pick up a lot of work and learn a lot of things on the job. And then one day I lifted my head up and I had a team of people working under me doing stuff. And we were developing software, and we were working with like Philips Healthcare and the John Huntsman 2012 presidential campaign. I did some stuff with that, which was kind of a wild trip. And I worked with pet shops and little businesses and just all over the place. So I would say the nature of what I do is really just, I'm very opportunistic. I don't really say no to anything because it's always an adventure. And that's kind of got me to where I'm at with most of my stuff.
See, I hear that and I'm like, I always imagined it as like, oh, this is the hustle culture. Like, when people talk about like, oh, I'm hustling for some jobs, I'm doing these side projects. I imagine that there's two different hustlers because what you just described, that's hustling, man. Like you've got your product, you've got what you're doing. You're like, I'm down to explore this. I'm down to solve these problems. You have a broad base of like knowledge on all these different topics. But you're not over here like, let me set up a drop ship so I can do something easy. You're like, okay, how can I automate this entire process through, a bunch of different programming or development, whatever, to make it more, better, for lack of a better phrase. Yeah. And I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. And that's really how it's been too. It's just like looking at things with a broader lens. And because you're right. I mean, like traditional hustle culture to me is pick from the list of little things. You're going to laundromat, or vending machines. That was the big TikTok hustles. Like, I've just cleared out all the money in my vending machines. It's like, yeah, you took all day to do that. Like,
Yep.
there's this idea that self-employment and being your own boss immediately gives you freedom, and that is not correct. You probably have more freedom in a 9 to 5 because at 5 o'clock you can like feel good about turning off, and you may there's plenty of people who have those bosses who still irk them after 5 and like, hey, you got a meeting or whatever, this stupid nagging stuff. But I mean, in the case of someone who's serving clients, it's never done, because they're just there. And then they need something beyond what was paid, and now you got to do free work for customer service, and you're still indentured to someone to some degree.
Your boss is no longer the person who is like managing you. Your boss is the client who's paying you money, and they
Yeah.
can just decide to stop at any point. It's like, oh crap.
Yeah, you will never escape serving someone, but you
Money
can
doesn't
do it
just
your
come from
way,
nowhere.
Hmm?
Like money doesn't just exist and go to you for doing a job. Someone
No.
has to pay you.
Mhm.
Now here's
So
the
then,
interesting thing.
oh,
When I look at what I've done with music is totally different, because and I'm gonna vent about this, because for a long time, you guys know this because you guys have known me
Yeah.
forever. The whole time you've known me in the office and all, it's always been like, "Oh, what can Vascor, my agency, do to make money? What's the product thing that we can advertise? And is it websites? Is it Facebook ads? Is it what's it going to be?" And every time it's the same thing. You have to prove that you're worth being paid, and prove and prove and prove. And it's okay, I'm not completely pounding that approach, but it's exhausting. And like a lot of people they're not built for that heavy sales, and it's hard. It's very hard, because you feel like you have to BS people all the time, and you're not BSing, but like it feels like that. And then I
well,
started just making music for fun and putting that out there, and people go and listen to it, and you just get paid, and you don't have to prove anything. They listen to it, they like it, they go and they listen to it, and you just make money. And that is so much more comfortable, because I don't feel like I had to fight you to go listen to a song. You just listen to the song, So it was a really cool shift, and it's something, it's pennies, but a lot of pennies can make a lot of money, and it's something I certainly hope I can keep growing throughout the year.
yeah, I was gonna say. So I've heard a lot about we've talked a lot about your music stuff, but like, how did you start with music? Because you've been doing music for a long time. I know you do shows. You've made you're obviously on Spotify, which I mean, we're gonna do a full plug here. The Eric Veta, check him out on Spotify. Check
We're
him out
gonna
on
ask you to
YouTube.
do a live acoustic song at the end of the show.
Oh,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
into
stick
it.
around to the end, and we'll have Eric play his brand new release hit single. No.
Maybe.
Are
if
you working
want
on
to.
anything right now, actually?
As I say, if you want to debut something on the pod, Eric, debut something on the pod.
I am working on some pirate dubstep. So
literally, Emily is in the comments right now saying, "Eric, it's good to see you. I want more pirate drops."
I know, I got to finish it. But summer, man, because I was like, this summer I'm going to get so much done, and then I'm like, I'm stuck with these kids. So it has been challenging.
You're stuck spending time with your family. Oh my goodness.
Ugh,
you have to go like
curse.
camping and like cook s'mores. This is awful. All I want to do is sit in my basement and work on pirate dubstep.
I got the first bit out
time.
because I just sat down and I was like, I have to do it, because people were like losing their mind when I teased it. I was like, I could do pirate dubstep, and they were like, oh my god, we have to have that. And I was like, I have to give them something. So I spun up like a minute, like the the hook. I spun up a nice hook, and I did a video, and they're like, we need this now, so like finish it. I'm like, I will as soon as I have a break to do that.
You need time, and it's funny because I think, just for everyone at home, we're all from Michigan. We are all kind of in the same boat of winter is hibernation. We're like bears. We hibernate in the winter. We kind of all go away. The only time we come out is for meeting up in the warmth of restaurants periodically. But during summer, we get that sun, and we have all of the lakes, literally everywhere, all around us. So how do you stay inside? Like, I want the pirate dubstep because I'm going down the river every single weekend. That's why I want the pirate dubstep.
Yeah.
Eric, we got Sarah in the chat too, requesting at the end of the show we get an acoustic Zero in the fast lane.
Ooh, I could
Ooh. You wanna sing us out at the end? Are we
do.
literally bring you on in front of everyone? It's like asking your parents if your friend can stay the night while your friend is standing there. Like, hey, our whole audience is here. Will you play the outro for us, please?
We could try something if you're okay with it being a little loosey goosey, because I have this one.
I love that.
All right, cool.
Oh,
We'll see what we can
we're
do.
here for loosey goosey.
Like,
We'll get
why
some
would you
acoustic
get a
people.
musician on your podcast to not have them play? It's
Yeah,
like
that's true.
there's never a musician that comes on a talk show that doesn't do like a little bit at the end of. They normally do it before they do the talk show. It's like here they are, and then they come and do the talk show.
Yeah, you're right.
So we should have started the live with Zero in the fast lane.
Well,
And
now
then
now everyone
What
has
we'll
to
do-
stick around.
We'll do it next time. And the thing is, what we can do is if we get over to the OBS, we can have you like film a little like thing for it and just use that video. So then you
Oh,
can like,
yeah.
I mean, you could also do it live. Like we could set that up with a scene and whatever. But if we recorded it, play it beforehand, like that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Now we're just talking production
I still
quality.
want to
here.
hear Zero in the fast lane tonight.
Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. Jank as it might be. But heck yeah. So you've been in music for how long? When did you get your first step into music?
My first step into music was quick tragic undertone, like a year after my mom died. So my mom died when I was about 7, and my dad was a career musician. He was in the National Guard, the Army National Guard band, and he went to the School of Music in Norfolk, Virginia. And through doing that, he got access to a bunch of early MIDI technology. And for anyone who doesn't know what MIDI is it's like the intersection of music and technology. It's where music and computers meet. And now it's this file type that stores musical data. So it has notes and pitches and movements and velocities and all that. So people started using this to program music. So I got on board with that, and he gave me a software called Encore 4.0, which you will not find anymore. If you want anything comparable, you would need Finale or Sibelius, which are like, it's like a score. It's like proper music like Bach and Mozart and guys like that, right?
You're composing actual notes onto
yeah.
Oh,
and I did a
Hard.
ton of that and arranging. I arranged like jazz songs for our community theater group that we were involved in, and this is what I did. I got home from school, dropped my bag, went up to my room, and did this until dinner was ready. And then normally a little bit after that. So everything I did was this, for years. And then I got into my 20s, and the first jobs that I started to pick up when I was on Odesk and all the freelance websites were music jobs. So I was composing music for games, like a lot of independent games, because this is also now, follow my timeline, this is also when apps started to be a thing. This was the dawn of apps. So people had smartphones now. That was new.
I was going to say, set the tone. What year are we looking at here?
We're looking at 2007, 2008, right around then.
I was going to say 2008.
Yep. So, I mean, we're looking at Angry Birds 1.0.
People still got flip phones out there.
There were still plenty of flip phones.
Everyone had
probably still had a Nextel.
Everyone had that app on their phone that was like a glass of beer that you could pour it out.
Yeah. All of the, isn't it crazy that phones had all that gyroscopic technology, and now every game is just upright. You can run it with your thumb. It's all like, no one wants to
it's because that's the way you want to play your game.
Just
I mean,
on the toilet.
maybe you give me like a Mario Kart where I can steering wheel it or something. That could be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was doing that.
Yeah, if I have to turn my phone on its side these days, I'm not.
It's a commitment.
That's too much.
Yeah, that's
I'm deleting the app.
When I play
it's highly inappropriate.
It could be my banking app. It could be my banking app, and they're like, turn it horizontal. I'm like, nope.
That's a scam. 100%. Your banking app wants you to turn your scam.
Yeah, no, that's a scam.
I'm out of here. What are you doing, Chase?
Everyone knows when you turn your phone sideways, you get opened up to vulnerabilities. You can be hacked with your phone sideways.
Oh my god!
All the icons just slide.
It's easier for the hacks to get in there.
But so you were in music. It's 2007, 2008. You're walking around with your very first like flat screen phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, making
and
apps
you're
or
composing
making
music.
music
Didn't
for apps.
for video games and these apps that are just coming out. That's super cool. Were you
Yeah.
dealing with these people like one on one, people reaching out to you, or it was like companies that you were working with?
That's a good question. It was a little bit of both. Normally, I was being subcontracted by some sort of a creative team. So my
Mm.
biggest claim to fame that I can give you is Farmville. I did
Oh,
some.
Ooh,
They had a
that's
winter
so cool.
update, and I did some music for that, and I did a series of sound effects. And one of the sound effects was like, they gave me, you know how these like seasonal app updates go. You know, it's
yeah,
some real
yeah.
weird little side quest with its own little path, and you know, deal. And this one was reindeer that were captured, and you had to like free the reindeer through this puzzle or whatever it was. So I had to do sound effects for like scared reindeer and then like freed reindeer. And I was like, I just got really drunk and just made a lot of sounds into a microphone and sent that over to them. And they said, these will work.
That's
So
awesome.
They were like,
it
that
was,
sounds like a reindeer.
yeah, it sounds enough like a reindeer for the Farmville people to be satisfied with it.
There was a show, and I cannot remember the show. I want to say maybe it was like Ted Lasso or something similar, but they had really intense like sound design on the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like talking to someone, or maybe it was I watched a documentary about how they did the sounds. Oh, no, no, no. It was for Arcane. It was
Mm.
for how they did the sound effects for Arcane on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And the the guys who handled all the sound effects, he kind of went through and was like, "Yeah, so I went out here and I beat a barrel with a stick for 3 hours and I recorded it." And I'm like, "Okay, that's phenomenal sound, but that's the sound of, someone getting his chest beat in while he wore a
Right.
chest plate or something." And it's like, "Damn, how you
Mm,
make all those little
That,
sounds is amazing." But I notice
that
them
is
more and
awesome.
more.
There's a lot of different things that have like similar stuff to that, where it's just like the sounds that are like this is like it's a dragon roaring, but then it flashes over to the guy doing the sound. He's like crumpling up a paper bag or something
Yeah.
like that, and it's just like,
And then
oh,
you pile
I
on
would have
effects
never
and
thought
stuff.
that. But now,
Yeah.
whenever you watch the movie, all you can see when the dragon roars is the paper bag getting crumpled up.
I
Oh
have
my goodness.
I have a good one. Actually, this might potentially trump Farmville for my cool thing.
Oh,
I worked with a company called Flatpak Interactive, and their whole deal, they were a very early, like within the first year or two of app development, they were doing stuff for the iOS platform. And they had a game called Ball Fall Down. And Ball Fall Down was just a sandbox physics game that had different size little balls and like teleporters and ramps, and you just built some goofy little Rube Goldberg type thing. And this app was on the iPads in the Apple stores in the children's area. So when kids would go into the like Apple store to test an iPad, this is one of the default games. And I did all the sound design for that game and the music.
nice.
Um, and it probably had more reach, like it's more, topical. They didn't go on to be, AAA or anything. They did a couple things and then the company kind of fell apart because it was very bootstrappy, all the
Yeah,
companies were at the
like
It
time.
was
like
put together the first
farm
app when apps were becoming a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
like Farmville probably stands out a little bit more as like a recognizable name,
Mhm.
but the other one has probably been in front of more people,
Yeah,
like
I would say so.
without them realizing it, without them
And
even knowing what they're playing,
and it was so experiential. Like the music, and I talked to the guy and he was really just inspired. He's like, I want this whole app to capture the idea of like analog play. Like the whole theme of their whole company, which is I don't think they're around anymore. It's just a great idea though. And they were like analog play modeled in digital things. So it did feel really analog. And they had all the different types of balls and stuff. And to record this, I had I had my microphone underneath a platform of some sort. I don't remember what it was. And I took these different types of balls and I rolled them down it with the mic right up on it. And I would capture the sound of them rolling. So, like a tennis ball. And you think, what does a tennis ball sound like rolling? Well, it is incredibly subtle. It's not a sound you would ever
Mm,
like pick up because it's the crinkle of those little furs and fibers,
yeah.
as it rolls. And then I'm taking that and turning that into a loop. So when the balls are rolling around the game, we're kind of have the seamless loop of them rolling and stuff. And it was a lot of that. It was a lot of like Foley sound design, like recording things that are like real occurring in nature and stuff like that. And then the music was all like xylophones and marimbas and percussion. It was all wood blocks, and it was all like wood, and it sounded very plucky and wood, and it was just super cool because the whole thing was so inspired. Like we had, I mean, the whole creativity comes from constraint. This was absolutely one of those projects. Like there was some really cool constraints that drove this to be something really unique.
How many sound design engineers do you think found a second career in ASMR podcasting?
I mean, the ones, I would say it like this: if you are a audio-based artist of some sort, just take the plunge. Just do it. Just do the social media thing. Just do it, because this is how people are finding people. And like, whatever your version of that craft is, just do it in front of people. Like, I say this with love, but like, get over it a little bit. Like, it's, I see, all right, let me soapbox. I see a lot of,
mic up. Let me soapbox.
Here we go. Get the mic a little higher. That's Saja Boyce, by the way.
K-pop
For
Demon
those who have
Hunters,
seen
man.
K-pop Demon Hunters, you've got to plug that. It's the best show ever made on Netflix ever, according to my 12-year-old. But a lot of musicians say, I don't want to do all the marketing. I don't want to be making posts and trying to follow trends. And I get it. But like, what did you do before social media? And for those who weren't around, because a lot of these kids who were in their like early mid-20s didn't experience what it was like to be in a band and try and hustle your band, because that's what you did. You didn't have Twitter. You couldn't tweet it or do a TikTok or an Instagram post or whatever. You had to put up flyers at coffee shops and stuff and hope people came. Yeah, make a zine and all that.
You'd have to literally go buy those like 100-pack of blank CDs at Meyer, burn a bunch of them, and go stand outside of concerts of bands that are similar. Like, I remember that, man. I go into concerts when I was like 16, 17, 18 years old, stand outside. I have so many random CDs from people handing them out, and it was glorious. Give me your music. I get to listen to this band's music. Hey, here, listen to my music. We're gonna be opening for a band in 2 weeks. Come check us out. Like, that's your pitch.
Yeah.
But nowadays, instead of doing that, you have to go make a TikTok, and it's like different effort, but also effort,
Yeah, it is. And I think you're really getting over, we're conditioned to think that the internet's going to immediately be cyberbullying, I think, too. And it's like, it's scary. It's like, it's not. It's fine. Like, no one cares. Like, either they're going to scroll past it or they're going to like it. And it's kind of win-win.
There's going to be people who are going to attack you on the internet. Like, for sure.
There are. I mean,
but like, you just don't look at those.
Yeah, if it happens, like, I'll give you my negative thing that's happened to me, which is actually, I am curious if anyone would watch this from me plugging it on TikTok, because this answers like a big question that's been a thing for a while, and that is Bard Step sounds a lot like Spinning by Connor Price. And everyone who heard it, if you listen to the song, you'll hear it's a very similar little flute motif in the beginning, but Spinning is like a rap song. And so it kind of unfolds differently. The melody is different. I did not, so this is me first time like publicly saying this. This feels like a big deal, because this has been like
an admission.
If I have a like a scandal, this is the closest thing I have to a scandal.
Oh, the official statement.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people have said that I just like stole the loop. They're like, oh, he must have used, on the lightest end, they say, oh, he must have used the same loop as Connor Price. And on the other end, there's people who say, you ripped this off. How dare you not tag him or acknowledge him in any way? And that's kind of been, there's been some people who are very passionate about this. And if you're one of those people, your comment gets deleted. I'm so sorry. And it will continue to get deleted. But it's different. It's a different melody. It just sounds similar. And I don't know. That's just kind of something that happens sometimes.
I used to watch a show. I don't remember what it was, like on MTV or something. It was a different spin with Mark Hoppus. The lead singer, one of the lead singers of Blink-182, had like a little talk show that he used to do. And he was talking to someone, and like they were like comparing it to like when music sounds the same. They're like, yeah, but like, eventually there's only so many sounds you can make, they're going to start overlapping. And he's like, well, that's not true. That's like telling a painter there's only so many colors. Eventually, like paintings are all going to look the same, and it's like, well, like there may be influences, like, yeah, there can be similarities without it being copied. Like, and it's going to happen.
I went back and listened to the song after a lot of people mentioned it. This is when I first released. I didn't even release Bard Step. I just dropped the sound and was like, hey, here's this fun thing I was working on. I made a little skit about it. And that video did really good. And now there's merch. Hold on. Just
Bard Step merch.
Yep. This is available at store.ericveta.com. So if you want a copy, you can get this shirt for yourself, But yeah, I mean, it's going to be derivatives of something. And I think the way music is now, like, people, they value the derivative stuff because it's easy for them to, it's accessible. If I come in and I have some, oh, look at you, love that. Nice.
Hey.
Store.ericveta.com. There's a few other things there too if you want to check it out. But it's, people can get into it more easily. So like the classic example of like pop punk, and they're like, oh, it's Britney Spears, but it's rock. It's like, it's the same exact song, it's just slightly changed. They just painted it in a different style. And that is such a big trend to do stuff like that on TikTok and things, where it's like, I'm going to do this song, but in my unique genre, whatever that is. So it's just like reskinning the genre of these songs. So we wind up with, and who else is doing this? If we look at this more broadly, this is what Disney's doing, just taking all their stories that they know will sell and just reskinning them with real people.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I do think that there's an immediate comparison.
Yeah.
There's an immediate comparison to written works, because what is that saying? There's only 7 unique stories out there, and every single story is an iteration of those 7. Like, it is extremely difficult to go out there and write something completely new that's never been seen before. There are ideas, you can come up with concepts or worlds or backgrounds, but at the end of the day, is it going to be a rags to riches? Is it going to be a hero's journey? Is it going to be a community build? Like, you are going to hit those tropes. And let's be real, hitting those tropes is kind of what you want to do, because as humans, we are pre-programmed to kind of get hyped up. Like, I mean, hell, you look at K-pop Demon Hunters, that movie hypes you up. Even though there's not a bunch of background, there's not whatever, there's a really great opportunity to like get hyped up as a human. And of course, more stories are going to do that exact same thing. Use music to make you feel something, build from a low, slow to a high octane push and beat, and it's going to make your heart beat quicker. It's going to inspire emotion in your audience. And so a lot of people are going to do that exact same musical, sequence, different notes, whatever. But yeah.
And I mean, that's how I wound up in this kind of being the Bard Step guy. And I didn't really, when I set out to do what I'm doing with Eric Veta, the project was never intended to really be like me, the Bard Step guy. But because I did do Zero in the Fast Lane, I did You Problem. There's a couple other songs in there that slightly deviate, but like electronic medieval fusion is what has come to be expected of this act. So I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, I'll just give them that,
It's like I love Zero in the Fast Lane. I love all your songs, but like they are a little bit more towards like the side of like, like we've heard a lot of things like that. Whereas when you get to like Bard Step or any like pirate dubstep, anything like that, like these are all niche things that you may also hear something like that somewhere else, but like it's so much harder to find that like when people do find it, they appreciate it that much more.
Yeah. And I've had a lot of people tell me that like they use songs from that segment, like Bard Step and Minstrel Madness and Wizard Gnomes, and those, they're using those in like D&D campaigns, and they're using those in these like, I've a guy who said he has like a Ren Fair driving playlist when they drive to fairs and stuff that they listen to. Like he's like, all your stuff's on there, like all the except Zero in the Fast Lane and You Problem, which don't fall into the archetype, but like,
I'd still throw them in there, Eric. They'd be in my
thanks.
my Ren Fair playlist.
But
because I'm gonna be going Zero in the Fast Lane down the highway to Ren Fair. You know,
they don't get it, and that'll be a you problem.
Exactly.
Back.
Oh, snaps. But with that said, I will 100% say that I agree. So I actually wanted to show off your music to one of my friends. I was just talking about it generally because they were interested in Dungeons and Dragons. So I was talking about that with them. And so I introduced you and he was like, oh, well, what kind of genre is he? And I'm like, well, he does singer-songwriter like type of stuff, because I do know you do like performing, like you do bars, you do shows and stuff like that, singer-songwriter. But then you do have this very much like EDM electronic music that's like much more fun. And I don't want to say unserious, but it feels like it's a lot more of like a you were having fun, you were enjoying it, you put it out there and then it blew up and you're like, oh crap, we're gonna jump on this. Do you think that's how you approached it? Were you like,
It's
oh crap, this blew up, like let's do this?
It was Bard Step I was just sticking around on TikTok and I was like, I'm gonna make one of those stupid 2-person videos where it's like, and you
or one person talking to himself as 2 people kind of thing.
You come in and it's like, hey, I'm working on this. Oh wow, and then he has a little reaction and then they just kind of jam out. And it was super fun to record. It was stupid. Like I think I just kept pausing on my phone and re-recording. Like it was not a super high effort CapCut type thing yet. And it did really good. And I realized from the success that like the thing that moved that was the song. It was this, everyone's like, hey, you fused medieval vibes with dubstep. And I'm not the first person to do that, but I'm the first person to do it with my sound, which is pretty heavy. Like it's in the grand scheme of electronic medieval, what I'm doing is really heavy. It's like I'm really drawing from like deep dubstep, cinematic, heavy, big sounds.
The heavy bass.
Yeah. And that's what I like. And everyone's like, ooh, this is doing it for me. So I rushed to get that out. I finished it like the night that it blew up. I was like, and it's like less than 2 minutes. It's really honestly quite short, but I just had to finish it. So I got it out, got it published, and was like, here, please go listen to it. Please still be interested in this. And generally people were. And then from there, I mean, that's what started the cycle. So then it was Minstrel Madness, and then the Gnomes and Knights thing came up, and I did Wizard Gnomes as kind of seeing if I could piggyback off of that, which I did. And that was really cool because then I wrote a song that almost became like the anthem of this subculture and this sort of like trend. And that was really awesome. But it's cool to like, I mean, in TikTok, there's people who are like, I'm one of these people who gets tagged. They'll be like, hey, this sounds like this guy. This guy would like this. And like they're viewing me as an ambassador to this sound that I've kind of fathered a little bit. And that feels like what started off really goofy almost now feels like I am charged with this purpose.
It's like you have a community. You've created a specific audience on there, and that specific audience looks at you and they're like, hey, you do this thing, we associate this thing with you. And that's super cool. Like you are the face of that brand. And I think, like, kind of not to segue or change the topic or anything like that, but when you're a small business owner, you are the face of your brand. And we've talked about this on the pod a couple of times where we've interacted with a lot of small business owners who are like, oh, I'm a massage therapist, but I really want to push my brand. I don't want me. I don't want my face. I don't want my words to be out there. I just want my brand to be out there. And I can kind of equate that to like maybe being a musician and here's my band. I want to promote the band. I don't want to be seen as part of the band. I don't want my name there. And it's like, well, your name is part of it.
It's about the music.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you do got to get out there and make it about you. Like you're out here being that person. That audience is there for you. They like that music, but they also like the fact that you got it out quickly. You made the TikTok. You got that music in front of them. You shot the video. And I think that's really important.
Should have been wearing that for this.
I thought about it. I mean,
should have all done Ren Fair get up.
Well,
I mean, I'm wearing literally my Renaissance Festival t-shirt.
I mean, I would wear this to a Ren Fair too. So
I'd wear this.
Yeah, no, we're doing great. But yeah, I mean that's the shirt. If I start a video wearing this, people know what to expect. This shirt now sends that message.
Yeah.
And then we introduced the hat also, which if I have my hair up, so I can't really wear it. But yeah, the hat is
But
also part of it now. So if the hat's on, they're like, oh. So it's like the
well,
shirt
exactly, and that's
means I'm doing Bard Step stuff, and the hat means it's pirate Bard Step stuff. Visual
you got a
cues.
vibe. You've got a system in place. You've
Mm-hmm.
trained. What is it? You Pavloved your audience.
It makes sense.
I
It's
have.
almost like you have a character.
Yeah,
You know,
it's for
like,
sure a character.
yeah.
And it feels good. I mean, it's like when I just kind of like, I don't know, you get to a point where you kind of turn your camera on, and the way I do those videos is I let the sound speak for itself. That's the only audio. And then I just kind of like do smiles and stuff and gestures, and then I use text on screen because, you know, I don't want with what I'm doing specifically, I don't want people to be worried about trying to hear dialogue over everything. I want them to focus on the music. Um and it's just really cool. I mean, I've had conversations. I've asked people like, what do you want to hear? And they tell me, like, lots of people have been like, you know, I love what you're doing and I want to hear more of this. And it's just like so humbling. It's so crazy that something you start off as just like goofing around. And I think that's all good ideas are going to be like that. Something is going to take off. You're not going to expect it to. You just had to put it out and see if it does. And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. You know, pivot or whatever. But it's been really cool.
If you want the confirmation, I want you to know, as a short form video consumer, I enjoy them like how you said there, where it's like, yeah, my song is playing, my people are like talking, but we don't hear it. There's text there. Like, that means I can hear the song and like get the vibe of it, even if I'm not watching it. My phone's face down, you know, and that song, like, and, you know, it's playing videos and that song comes through, I get to hear it. And I don't have to be like, oh, now I got to listen to someone talk before it and get all this. I'm just trying to confirm for you that that's the right way to do it.
Nice. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, and it's interesting because I think there's a bunch of different ways to do content. I've looked at some of the ways. We go live stream on the Joey Matterhorn channel at 12 lunch with the boys on Mondays. So if you do want to check us out, come check us out there. But Joey Matterhorn, I've seen some of the edits that they do for some of their short form, and I'm like, personally, I don't think I would consume that, but it still does pretty well for them. And so I do want to make sure I iterate that. Sometimes you don't want to be making the content you think will do well for you. Sometimes your audience wants the content they want. And I think, Eric, that's definitely been an experience of yours where you're like, oh, they want this Bard Step. I need to give them more of this.
Yeah. And it's cool because, like, for me, my product is right there. And I don't have, you want to consume my product, just go listen to it. Like, that's it's so easy.
Low barrier to entry.
Low barrier, low income, you know, because it's what, 0.2 pennies, 0.2 cents per stream, something like that, 0.2, 0.3. But I mean, I'm pretty sure I just passed 1 million total streams on Spotify, and that's equated to
nice, man.
I don't mind dropping a number, and I think it's nice for people to hear it, but it's been a little over $3,000 that I've made since I initially launched that whole Spotify and everything I've done there. So between Spotify, YouTube, and everything else. So like, that's where I'm at now with like 50,000 monthly listeners. And that comes out to, you know, several $100s a month. So then I'm like, oh, you know, the business side of me looks at that and says, okay, how do we scale this? Like, what's that path look like? And well, the answer to it, which I guess is more for me to be concerned with, but the answer is just, you had to have more content. You just have to keep getting it out. And and when people say, I want more music like this, they mean it. If you give them more music like that, they're going to put it on the same playlists, because I've watched it happen at this point. You know, they're not fronting when they say that. And if you go out and, you know, look around, if you are a niche artist doing music has a sound that's unique to yourself, look for other people who sound like it and do song radios and stuff and try to find it, hear what there is, and you'll hear the gaps, the creative gaps. Like I said, there's plenty of people doing pirate electronic music and medieval electronic music. Like, that's not a new thing, but they're not doing it the exact kind of way I'm doing it. And any artist will fill a void because it's your void to fill. You know, you are absent from the conversation. All you have to do is show up and join the conversation, bring what you bring to it, or to that collective work that sits out there. And it's kind of neat. And one more thing that'll be done on my little tangent here. But like, Spotify encapsulates things into these little pods and stuff. Like it looks at you and says, okay, this will be good with these other types of things. And like if I do this experiment a lot where I'll have other people or myself do a song radio of one of my songs, and we'll just see what their Spotify cross pollinates with it. And it's really cool because that's how I find a lot of the other medieval electronic artists who are all kind of, in my same bracket. We're all kind of peers, I would say. And it's cool because then I look at them and see what they're doing. Like, where have they taken this career and this whole project? And these guys are doing live shows and they're like, kind of performing like DJ EDM style, just like, woo, they got a laptop
Yeah.
in front of them. They're just jumping around having a good time. Like, hell yeah, let's do that, So it's like, it's really cool to see
Well,
the ways forward,
yeah, and I hear you say that. I'm like, okay, so Renaissance rave when? Because that would
Yeah.
100% be something. Dress up for Ren Fair, show up
People
to
would
a
love
rave,
that.
have mead and witches brew. Like
That would
that
go
would be
off.
glorious.
I
Yeah.
am genuinely talking to some people about trying to line something up like that because there's been a lot of people who are part of different Renaissance communities and stuff like that, and they've been
Yeah.
like messaging me like, how could we get you to do this as an act? I just don't have enough material yet. So once I have at
Yeah.
least like an hour of material, then I could consider it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you
maybe
gotta build up that backlog.
yeah, it's coming. Maybe next summer or the summer after that. But yeah, it's something I absolutely want and intend to do.
So then would you say that's your game plan right now is to over the next year or so build up your kind of catalog of songs in this area? Are you going to keep that up with the singer-songwriter all under Eric Veta? Are you going to split those up and kind of focus in on that EDM stuff? Like what would your focus over the next year be? I'm kind of curious.
That's a good question. My game plan that I put in my head was I said I'm going to do pirate dubstep, and then they're like, "Okay, do it." And then I'm like, "Well, now it's a lot of pressure on me." So I sat down and I spent a lot of time like theory crafting, like what would pirate dubstep be? And there's a great song by I think the act is called Temanite called "Raise the Black Flag." I think it's like a really hard pirate dubstep song. It's got some,
Mhm.
real cheesy, on the nose pirate kind of stuff in it. Great song, like super intense. And it's popular enough that it has its own little sub following, like at I think it was Electric Forest or one of the big electronic things. They actually had like a pirate zone where they were playing like this song and like two others because that's all there is for pirate dubstep. But these people are dressed up with pirate hats and everything, like thrashing and hanging out. And I was like, so you guys just need like a leader who is dedicated to this to guide you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, don't let myself get carried away with this idea because that would be super cool. But my plan, this year I was kind of like, hey, maybe I could deviate and try some of these other songs. Zero in the Fast Lane and You Problem. You Problem just kind of came out of nowhere. But Zero in the Fast Lane I've been working on for a while, and I was like, I just need to get this one out. And I have a feature from a great guy I know named Yazik. His actual name is Charles, super talented rapper, and he is as I know you guys probably have seen enough of his stuff in parallel to what I'm doing, but he featured on
Mhm.
Rolling Nat 20s also. So like
Yeah.
he's probably the godfather of D&D rap, like actually.
Mhm.
Cody, we deep dived his stuff down here on the subs one day because Cody came over for D&D
I
and we
do
were
remember
listening to
that.
all these like it's like D&D crunk music. It's so hard. It's so hard
That's
what
awesome.
he
He went
does.
hard. It
He's
was
super
some
good.
really good music. I do remember that.
But I tried some other things and I was like, I just kind of kept coming back to the Bard Step stuff and I realized like I don't need to reinvent myself every single time. And I think that is a habit I have is like, okay, next time, how can I do it bigger, better, badder? And like Minstrel Madness, that was me one-upping Bard Step because Bard Step did really good. And I was like, that was such a simple song for me. And I not to say it's like worthless in that way, but it was simple to produce. Like the melody's simple and the production's pretty straightforward. So I was like, this time I'm gonna gloss it up. I'm gonna glaze this thing, just do like a really, Minstrel Madness has tempo changes and big shifts, and it's much
more
more like,
complicated
yeah,
musically,
more musically,
more impressive.
yeah, for me,
Yeah.
I find it more impressive because I know it required more work to get there.
Mhm.
And I don't think people like the song. It's a good song, but no one's going to be like, this is more technically,
Yeah.
bigger than this other one. No one cares about that stuff. So I kind of realized like there's really nothing wrong with having a simple formula. John Mayer is quoted, paraphrased, as saying he knows the songs on his albums that are for the fans. Like Your Body is a Wonderland and Daughters and Gravity and all those songs. He's like, those are simple songs designed for the average people. Like those are the ones that are going to be top 40. He's like, the ones that have 1,000 chords and they're jazz chords and all the sliding and moving, those are for me. Those are just because I like doing crazy music. And he found a really cool way to kind of blend those things. So it's kind of like that for me too, where now I'm like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to fall into this formula and to adhere to this formula, because also systems make things more efficient. It's okay to have systems. There's nothing shameful about having a way you approach anything. Nickelback has systems, and Imagine Dragons has systems. Like you can
humans,
tell
we're all
humans have
creatures of
systems,
pattern and habit.
And I think I really started to see that people want that. They want the familiarity. They want to be able to tune in and be like, oh, here's another song that sounds a lot like the other songs from this guy who makes this style of songs. A guy I got into recently who does this also is Carpet Man. He highly recommend his stuff if you like 2 Feet or any kind of that chill, dark, almost sexy pop. He does really great stuff in that space. And it's the same thing. All of his songs, you could put them on a single playlist, it would sound like one song going for an hour,
He's got
which
a
is
vibe.
good. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to kind of do that. So when I sort of opened it up, then I was like, okay, well now what's the thing that I can control? What's the variable? And the variable became just all these different kind of themes that I sort of saw. So the pirate dubstep song I've been teasing is kind of like your adventure begins, Pirates of the Caribbean, very root do 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 do, rootin' tootin', good time cannon blast pirate music, just like
here's our brand new ship, here's our crew, let's go out and find some treasure, we're ready to go.
Yep.
Not the hey, we're about to go into a battle against another pirate ship, or hey, we're about to go into Tortuga.
Right.
Different vibes.
And then I was like, well, this is this. And then there could be other pirate songs. Like I love Hook. And that spin on piratical stuff has always kind of been the one seated in my heart because I grew up on that movie. And that one is much more playful and regal, and Captain Hook is almost like this king. He's like this glossy, flamboyant king. So doing something more to that style. And I was like, there's an album's worth of ideas here. At least a good 4 to 6 songs, So I was like, that would be a really cool way to sort of encapsulate this stuff and look at each project as a pirate dubstep. And then I was like, well, if we do pirate dubstep, we can do Viking dubstep, and we can do Shogun dubstep, and we can do all these different sort of cultures. And I think that's where I want to take it. So, and long game,
do
again,
a pirate dubstep album almost, and then move on and do okay, here is the Elven dubstep album, here is the Dwarven Forge dubstep album, here is the Shaman in the Swamp dubstep album. That would be really sick. That would be a cool evolution to have a themed album. And especially when you tell me about D&D players, because we all play D&D, we're all huge nerds here. If you give me
just going through my head is we're one person away from having Big Leaf.
Yeah. We just need Mitch in here and he would be ready. Which, I mean, hey, for everyone listening here, you have 3/4 of the Big Leaf Collective. This is our D&D group here. We get together quite often to play Dungeons and Dragons. So
the
making Dungeons and Dragon music is perfect.
The Big Leaf shirt is also on the store.
Yeah, if you want to check out our Big Leaf shirt, we sell branded merch for our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. It's glorious.
Yep.
I will say, I talk about how we designed that shirt.
Buy us pizza.
Yeah, that one
talk
goes
about designing that
straight
shirt.
to pizza.
But I will say, so designing that shirt is one of the cool things that I think we've done. And I want to like stress this, and I think this is something that you've stressed in your narrative here as well. Get the thing done and do the thing. Like it is
Mm,
very important. Okay, so you released that clip and you were like, I need to get this song out. I finished the song, you know? And I'm
yeah.
sure there was some time in between that, but like that seems to be like your secret sauce, quote unquote, is I've done the thing and I'm doing the thing and I'm not afraid to continue to do the thing, you know?
Yeah. And this year, I really put that to the test too, because I
Hmm.
went into this year saying, I'm going to take it more seriously. I'm going to nose of the grindstone. We're going to actually get some stuff going. And months passed and months passed and months passed. I was like, what am I doing? I have to do something. So Zero in the Fast Lane was the first one that came out because I was like, I wanted to get my back catalog of unfinished crap processed and pushed out. So I was like, here's one that's pretty cool and close to finished. So I teased it, and Yazik hit me up immediately and was like, please let me do a verse on this song. And I was like, perfect. That's one less verse I have to worry about. So we got it lined up. And he's also, if you ever do collaborative creative stuff, you make it exponentially more difficult to get out the door. Because if it's only you, like I can go get my album art and my logo and all that. If you have one more, every additional person is another logo you got to factor in, another contributor, another person for, profit share and stuff. And it's not that it's that overwhelming, but get someone who knows what they're doing, because if they don't, it drags.
Hmm.
And he's great at that. And we already had one under the belt too, so it was really, really easy to get it out. So we did that. And then I made the blessing and curse of reposting Bard Step. So one time I was like, TikTok has this short lifespan for videos. Can I just repost a video from a year ago and just like the exact same video? And ChatGPT said it was cool. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out. I did it. In that video, the exact same Bard Step. Hello, kitty.
Sorry. Loki
You're
is a
okay.
monster. He hears your voice and he's like, wait, Eric's here?
Eric's
He's like,
here.
it's the Zero in the Fast Lane guy. That video also performed really, really well. So I was like, well, how often can I do this? So then a month later, I tried it again, and it performed good again, incrementally less. And then I did another repost, incrementally less. And I went from a video that had about like 500,000 views to about 200,000, 50,000, 10,000, 1,000. So you can do this. You can repost videos. And if you have like an empty spot, you can do that to fill in the gap, like greatest hits kind of deal.
Hmm.
But also they will incrementally probably throttle it a little bit. The month of May, I had a video almost every day, and I was promoting just everything I had going on. There was a bunch of songs. I was doing real simple formats, like just at the gym, just little video of me sweaty with a thing that said whatever goofy thing it said, just real quick little 10-second videos. That is when I had a huge surge during that month, because I had two people who were like EDM playlist kind of people, like playlist influencers, post Bard Step, and Bard Step was one of their best performing videos. So when they plugged it, both of them had a huge video. So then they hit me up and were like, when are you doing more of this? Because your songs pop off for us. Now everyone's benefiting, right? So but they, month of May, I tripled my listenership, like huge surge. That was like a easily probably like a 4-figure month, just because it was a huge surge of people. And the cool thing was the song was already out. Bard Step was already out. So all they had to do was go and save it and playlist it. They weren't waiting for it to drop or release, which
Yeah.
is one of the big catch 22s of the whole music thing. Is there's no real good way to pre-save music. Pre-saving is an awful process. It's just messy, and someone should build a software to make that better. But until they do, it's just kind of
Someone find a
messy and crappy.
developer.
We'll have to find someone who knows development.
I was gonna say I don't know any developers. I don't.
Not in this room. But yeah, it was June. June I fell off and nothing grew. So it's like it's all to say the proof's in the pudding. Just show up, do the thing. Whatever the thing is you do it. Everyone says a month is the magic number. If you can get through a month and make it a habit, then the habit has stuck. Problem is I let the habit slip. It's summer, good enough excuse, maybe not. But also for me, I have to have that stream of content behind it. So if I don't have new music, then it's hard to do more videos because it's like, do I really want to just be coming up with more little skits and ideas around these same songs when everyone wants new music? So it's like you're balancing all this kind of stuff and trying to find what that is gonna shake out to be in scheduling and stuff like that.
So then, if you had to, because we're we're getting a little bit towards end time here, I'm
Mhm.
super curious if you had some like top three advice for a brand new musician who is looking to kind of break into the industry. Besides, don't quit your day job to start off with. What would your top three pieces of advice be?
My top three pieces of advice would be get it out. Like get it out on Spotify and all the platforms. Just get it so it's published. Don't fall for don't fall for that trap of the early release stuff. The whole like go pre-save, it's just not that big of a benefit. I think even when you have people who are really, because I've had a couple spots here where people have been really invested in like, I cannot wait to hear that song. And it's like maybe a couple dozen people who pre-save. And I'm not saying that's not valuable. Those are still numbers, but they're not just do your, if you find a video format that works and it's a really good promo, just repeat that once it's out. And because people, it's all going to happen in that 5-second window. They're going to hear the song, like it, and want to engage with it. And if they don't have a way to engage with it, they're going to move on. They're just going to scroll. And now TikTok has that like Spotify save button kind of built into the interface for songs it identifies. Like, absolutely lean into that and just have it up and out and then promote it. I mean, my biggest Bard Start promo happened a year after it came out, just because I happened to repost the video and it happened to get picked up by other people. So you know, I guess that let's segue that into point two. Your song's not dead after it's released. Now it's alive. I mean, think of it like an actual lifespan of like a living thing. Like only once you are born can you be like recognized in any way. Like Pink Pony Club was written in 2020 and now it's blowing up here in 24 and 25. Like it marinated for 4 years before it took off, and there's a lot of songs like that. So get it out, do your thing, show up. What would be, if I had one more golden tip of advice, I guess it would be don't be embarrassed to be stupid and cringy. And like, so it's funny how this works because you guys know my oldest daughter's name is Rain. She's 12 and she's like super like preppy girl. She loves girl stuff. And but she's super cool too because she's like going on 22. And she'll show people my TikToks and be like, you should go follow my dad on TikTok and look at his stuff. And then they'll be like sitting in the driveway looking at it. And then they normally shortly thereafter come in and go, how do you have this many things? And I'm like, oh, you know, now you're in. TikTok's got you on the algorithm now, man. You're not going to stop seeing me. It did make
they want
me
the secrets. Come watch this pod.
Exactly. I actually started to audit my videos because I had a couple that were more borderline inappropriate, like just some inappropriate joking. It's like, I'm gonna pull back because I'm like, oh, there's kids. Ugh, now I have to be mature. But don't be afraid to just do stupid stuff and dance around and look goofy and wear a goofy outfit. Like people love that. If you're having fun, people will have fun. And if you're not having fun, people will not have fun, you know?
I think that's something that's really important. I think we've touched on it before. I know I have been finding this more and more important in what I consume. Authenticity and honesty is huge. And this whole idea surrounding I don't want to be cringe. I don't want to appear cringe online. It's going to exist forever, and if I look dumb, people are going to think I'm dumb. People are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. And if you're having fun, even if you look dumb, I'm going to laugh and be like, that person's having a good time. That's part of being human. That person is sure maybe being a little bit dumb, but also like, hell yeah, I'm here for it. It brings joy to my life. And I'd rather do that than, let it fall by the wayside or, not get something out there because I'm like, well, maybe someone will think I'm cringe.
Yeah. It's not a good reason to not do it. And if you are cringe, just be cringe. It's okay. No one cares. It's
Being cringe is a vibe.
Yeah.
We've actually kind of in the past like 2 years we've really stepped into a cringe culture where like it's like all of a sudden like you get shows like I Think You Should Leave, Nathan For You, and all things like that, and it's like, oh, now people are starting to really almost appreciate cringe, where it's like it's now a growing humor almost, where it's like we want to see it.
Well, it's like it's personality, and I mean, I think everything that, because I'm on that side of TikTok where it's like millennials talking about Gen Z. It's like critiquing Gen Z, you know, and they say Gen Z is so obsessed with not being cringe that they just whitewashed and neutered their whole personality. They just have no personality for fear that they could be cringy. And I am a millennial who grew up on all that and Amanda Bynes, and like we're fine. we until I come out with dancing lobsters pouring green jello all over my face, I'm not cringe. Like, you don't know how high that bar is. It is way up there. Like, you should see the shit that we were subjected to.
On what we were raised with.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But okay. We're hitting down here. Is there anything else that you want to share with the audience while we got you here, Eric? It's been a real pleasure having you on. I really
Cody's getting ready to close this, but I'm still gonna make Eric do a full lot.
100%. We're not closing out. He's got to go grab the guitar. He's going to do a quick play for us. But I want to make sure that he's got his give us your plugs, what you're working on right now. Any final thoughts?
Tell us what you have going on. This is my Sean Evans impression.
Yeah. Do you want to get some hot sauce so we can really do this?
We should do a Hot Ones episode.
I'll do a Hot Ones.
We should eat spicy wings and try and do a podcast.
Oh my god! We'll actually do a mukbang.
Ooh, I'd screw that too. Well, I'll say, if there is anyone who came here from Eric Veta social media, thank you so much for actually showing up. That's very awesome of you. And if anyone wants to see more things like this, let me know, because I'd be interested in doing more things like this. But for those who are wondering, what you can expect from me is probably a lot more medieval dubstep. I'm planning to lean into that, and kind of like I'm allowing it to be the identity of what I'm doing. Might be a couple things here and there that are a little off that trail, but like, you know, the whole creative artist thing, I got to do the song in my heart, man. And but like, that's, you know, that is, I'll say it like this: when I set out to do this, the intention and the purpose was to take the songs that were in my heart and get them out. And it's, you know, people who've heard my original music are like, this is good, you should put it out there so other people can enjoy it. And that's what started the whole thing. Never intended for it to become what it is. I'm not mad at it at all, but that's just how stuff goes, you know. And I mean, it's really wild when a project takes a life of its own and just becomes its own little thing, and then you become like the keeper of that. And if I will, here's my last piece of advice. This is the really good one. If you are in anything creative or creative parallel in any way, read Creative Act by Rick Rubin and read War of Art by whoever wrote War of Art. But actually, those, 1 second. Oh, do you have it? There he goes. It's such a good book. War of Art. Creative Act talks about the philosophy, and War of Art talks about the practical application of philosophy. That book right there. Absolutely.
War of Art. It is by Stephen Pressfield.
Stephen Pressfield, who I believe is an author beyond that.
I think you got me this, or maybe I got this on your recommendation.
Well, did I sign the inside page? Is the first page
like, is it signed Eric Veta?
Well, no, not Eric Veta, but I normally put it's not. Then it's probably your own copy.
Not.
When I hand books to people
I'll have
nowadays,
to get it signed next time I see you.
Yeah. I put my name and the date that I finished it, and because I'm trying to build like some family heirlooms out of these books, you know.
Yeah. My mom got my brother for Christmas like a little stamp, like a custom stamp to like stamp the inside pages, so that like it's like library of Brian Vogel.
That's super cool.
Super, super cool. But all right, Eric, if you don't mind, we would love to hear you play. If you want to spend a couple of seconds here.
Yeah, I'll play you a song.
Play us out for a couple of minutes while he gets that all kind of set up.
I'm so excited.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
I was going to tell him he's going to do this like yesterday when we were talking to prep this, but I completely forgot.
I didn't even think about it.
I will pull up the lyrics, and I think I generally know. So, Zero in the Fast Lane
If you have like, listen, do any song you want. Zero in the Fast Lane was requested, but if you have something else, if you got something to debut, if you
You're really pushing it. Like, where's the pressure? How much pressure can we put on this scenario?
Probably quite a bit.
a lot, a lot. And I'm
if you're not shaking like a leaf, we're not doing enough.
Go get my guitar and just hold it.
We're just here.
This is
but
my troubadour guitar is packed up because I've been using it a ton. Because, like, to your point, I have been playing out a lot more, and it's been a while because it's like I've been doing it under the Eric Veta name, and I tell people, like, because none of my dubstep stuff really equates to guitar that well.
Yeah.
They're two very different things. So it's tough to balance that, because I see the disconnection.
Yeah. Well, even then, I feel like if you did an acoustic version of like Wizards and Gnomes or something like that, that might
Wizard
go down.
Gnomes actually has
like
potential.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead. Let's mute ourselves here so that we don't interrupt any of the music. And
all right, I'll do what I can. I'll just give you the hook of it. I'm going zero in the fast lane, and everybody's trying to pass me. I know I'm sitting out here in the middle of the whole road. No place to drive and no places for me to go. Zero in the fast lane, between the future and the past, babe. I know I'm sitting out here in the middle of the whole road. No place to drive and no places for me to go. Is that acceptable? I hear you, but I see you, but I don't hear you. I think you're still muted.
That was great.
I was like over here clapping. I'm like, where's that clap track at?
I was getting ready for it. I was ready there.
Ooh.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys for joining us for this extra special edition of Lunch with the Good Rep Boys. Just another round of applause for Eric over here joining us. Kind of last minute, kind of put some pressure on, but we love hearing about it. Thank you again, my dude.
For sure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for showing up. Feel free to leave a comment. We're always interacting. If you're interested in talking to me one-on-one about small businesses, come check us out. Follow that link below, type it in, come check out our website. I would love to have the opportunity to talk about your small business. But with that, I will look forward to seeing you guys next week at noon on the Good Rep Media YouTube channel on Tuesday. And it was a real pleasure, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good one.
Later, everybody.